Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, episode 153. I'm Caedo Genesis. This is my co-host, Bad Company Sarge.
Hello there.
And we are hosting a Bethesda-adjacent open-worldy RPG kind of first-person something or other kind of podcast where we talk about those things, usually as a dedicated topic, and also cover some dedicated gaming news a little bit beforehand. But we have our chapter points and timestamps if you like things in particular, but we had quite a few things happen over the last couple of weeks that we want to talk about, including Atomfall, which is a game that came out and we both played a lot and covered quite a bit. So that's going to be our main topic. So if you're interested in Atomfall, which is a post-apoc first-person RPG adjacent, kind of closer to a survival-y.
Yeah, technically it's called like a survival game, but it also doesn't have like food and thirst meters or whatever, so
right. It's just brutal.
Yeah, it's difficult to really put it in one specific box and have it fit just right.
Yeah. But it does a lot of those things, and it's a nice little thing to play. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. But before that point, thank you, Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose. I need to double check my Patreon really quick just to make sure that not much has changed, because I don't usually do that until like the 1 month mark, like on the 5th of each month.
Check my Patreon page now.
Crap,
my Patreon page, which has some lovely Atomfall wallpapers.
Oh yes, promoting Sarge's wallpapers over on his Patreon. But yeah, thank you, Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose, and we usually grab comments from the previous episode where we jumped into we discussed the Ghoul update, which was a fairly short discussion in the last episode for 76. So we ended up jumping into a tier list as well.
Yep.
So we have some comments from that episode. Sarge, would you like to pick a YouTube comment, and then I'll take the Spotify one?
Yes, I'm going to pick Fallout Wolf's comment, because it's shorter, and I have things to say about it.
Okay.
They said, "Have you guys not been hearing or seeing people using the gamma gun to give them rats? Just blast out your feet and you can get your whole glow bar with one full clip." And I've seen a few people talking about using the gamma gun to heal up while as a ghoul, and the people who talk about it are like, this is the best thing ever, it's amazing, it's so good, and I disagree. I disagree so much. It means you need another weapon, you're using up ammo, all of this stuff. I got toxic goo. I can collect hundreds of toxic goo in just like a very short trip to West Tech. Takes me like 5 minutes tops, and that's even the item which is harder to get. And then it takes me under a second to fully heal my glow bar, because I just like double tap my
I've tried both, and I have to agree with Sarge on this one now.
Yeah.
Like I do have a gamma gun that, interestingly, there's the area of effect size perk, area of effect increase perk in perception. The gamma gun's affected by that. Figure that'd be a fun little tidbit to add, because I didn't know that was a thing. But I guess it counts as explosions. The gamma gun impacts do. So yeah, that's cool. But also firing a full clip as opposed to tapping 3 twice, like in the middle of an animation while I'm punching things and still being able to do it, like there's no downtime with using toxic goo as opposed to using a gamma gun where you have to fire the full clip, then play your reload animation or put it away while it's empty to use later. Either way, you're losing time, uptime on combat. So if you're all about efficiency in that sense, like just having through hiker and toxic goo is like the way to go.
I mean, even without through hiker, you can still carry quite a bit of toxic goo. Just means you're going to probably need to restock more often. I will say that the one in defense of argument I have for the gamma gun is it could be quite cool if like everyone was a ghoul, then you've just got healing for other people on hand.
that's the thing too. It doesn't.
That'd be cool.
If it worked on other people,
Does it not?
It does not.
Is that because of pacifist mode?
No. Well, it's technically still a damaging attack. So like, it would have to be. You'd have to be on a PvP kind of setup or opt-in with other players.
Yeah.
If something like friendly fire applied to gamma guns, like, then that would suddenly make it way more viable. And also like the one I set myself up with, I put medic on the 1-star legendary for it. So it is still my medic weapon for like healing NPCs and stuff like that, which is funny and ironic because it does a crap ton of radiation damage.
Yeah.
So it still has value in that sense.
Yeah. That's a good way to set it up.
But there should be some kind of friendly fire effect for ghouls specifically for that. That would be really good. Maybe there will be in the future.
Yeah.
I hope so. Anyway. But yeah, I have definitely tried both, and I'm with Sarge. I like the toxic goo better. And like, well, Sarge, you got grilled a little bit for using the toxic water on your first build.
I did, yeah. I didn't even realize at the time. Man, so many of the comments I've been getting are people just who expect me to have been putting thousands of hours into this game and playing it non-stop. There's so many people who are like, why aren't you absolutely min-max in every single way? Why haven't you beat the scoreboard yet? Why haven't you done this? And it's like,
isn't this game your identity, Sarge?
Yeah.
Aren't you only the Fallout 76 guy?
I've also had comments from people who are like, wow, it's really cool to see Bad Company Sarge is back, or, oh, Sarge is uploading again, or stuff like that, and that always bugs me.
No, it's only because your algorithm just has that content only show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's on you and your feed and not checking back. That's not us.
I've made so many videos.
Yeah. Hey, same. On Starfield that nobody watched for you know why? Nobody was watching Starfield content.
Yeah. I just got a comment on a Starfield video the other day.
Nice.
It was weird to see.
Oh wait. Oh, speaking of like legacy stuff that people don't really watch. I've been getting comments on the legacy episodes, and I want to give a shout out to this person. THDDS Finn. I'm pretty sure they've been binging all of our older episodes.
Oh, nice.
So, thank you, THDDS Finn, for upping the views on those older episodes. They're up to episode 96, it looks like, on this comment. But yeah, as we've been, like, each time we've been, starting up recording, I've been checking back, and like, yeah, they're steadily going through all of the episodes, it looks like. So wow, I hope you get value out of those, because those are old episodes, and a lot of that information might be no longer relevant.
Hey, it's still fun to listen to things we talked about.
Yeah, the older ones we committed a lot more time to news, so
yeah. They can see how our opinions have changed on different subjects and stuff over the years.
Yeah, true. When we that episode was when we were optimistic about Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. That went away.
Mm-hmm.
I was still complaining about, Cyberpunk, though. That's consistent.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Spotify comment. Yeah. Steeltown Eric says, Fallout 76 has had routine freebies in the Atomic Shop, the Archmic Shop, as he spelled it. They are constantly recycled from previous years. New players will get them, which is great for them, but lacks for us old-timers. I love to see more new camp items, skins, and outfits.
Agree. It is.
Agree.
It is a bit annoying, especially, like stated, I've been away from 76 for quite a long time. But now that I'm starting to play regularly again, there's not the standard, oh, it's a new day, there's some cool little item you can pick up. It's all just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of the boost, or the one-time use items that they keep having us take. Yesterday was the like 250 caps.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, got some money. Got a little bit of money to spend on somebody's vending machine.
Yep.
Oh, dude, somebody bought my fixer plan that's been
Ooh.
sitting in my shop for like years.
Yeah, I imagine it's a much less desirable plan these days.
Yeah, they still bought it for $9K, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, side tangent out of the way. Thank you, Eric, and also thank you, Fallout Wolf 9410. Yeah, if you want to be a comment to the cast, just comment on Spotify, which has comments section now, and as well as like, likes and hearts and whatever the heck else stuff. It's trying to be YouTube really hard, is what Spotify is doing. And yeah, the YouTube side as well obviously has a comment section. So if you want to be a comment to the cast, that's how you do it. Make a comment. Tell us why we're wrong when we're talking about Atomfall or whatever.
Yeah.
Or when we're about to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that I'm going to try not to ramble on about too much, because I don't know how many listeners are even Nintendo fans.
I'm not.
Sarge is not. But you'd probably be interested in the Duskbloods, right?
No.
At least to hear about it.
Do we want to start with talking about Duskblood? Like, I don't have strong opinions about anything in this, like, Nintendo Direct, but I feel like all the opinions I have are negative. They're all, like, mild negatives, but this all just seems kind of bad? Not even bad to me, just a little, like, It's very,
It's more like Nintendo being Nintendo is largely what this presentation was. And if you need me to elaborate, the Nintendo being Nintendo is they want your money.
Yeah.
They want your money bad. Like adding different features to the Nintendo Switch 2, because this was what the Nintendo Direct was about. It's largely about the new hardware, or the next generation of the Nintendo Switch. The like extra services kind of things, like having access to like GameCube games and stuff like that. The GameCube Pro controller that they showed off, like that one interests me, but it's again very expensive. The C button, which is their share button, basically allows you to stream to your friends in a really like bad quality, low frame rate version of your game and your face, maybe if you have the camera. Like it's and a lot of articles I had been checking on while we were doing our research here for the short not great research that we do most of the time for for the PIPCAST, that it's just Discord but worse, and Discord's free. I'm like, what? Come on. It's still this like lack of awareness that I keep seeing from Nintendo. It's just like they don't see their competition at all, it seems like, or maybe I'm missing something here.
I feel like they do kind of get to just be their own thing quite often. It feels like the Nintendo side of gaming is almost separate from the other bits. Like when people talk about the console wars, it's always Xbox versus PlayStation.
Yeah, Nintendo's completely separate. They have their own ecosystem. Like that's why I compare them to Apple all the time, is because they have their own ecosystem that they just keep their customers, even though the customers are being taken for all that they have and don't even realize it, that there's alternatives that are leaps and bounds cheaper and or free if they just decided to shell out some money for PC instead, or like competing consoles now at this point. Or I say competing obviously, but like the PS5 or whatever, like it has those features that aren't locked behind like PlayStation Plus and stuff like that. It's still like sometimes not great, but like the like share stuff and things like that's not limited based on how much extra you're not paying, kind of thing. It's Blech.
I do have something positive to say about the Nintendo Direct we've got.
And their tech demo. Sorry.
You kind of just said something, and now I can't. But now I have to know.
I said it. Well, okay, so they showed off this little tech demo thing that would show like different aspects, very much like Astro's Playroom for the PlayStation 5. Showing different aspects of the hardware and how it works, like the internal components and stuff like that. And they're charging money for it.
I've seen a lot of comments and memes and stuff about how they're making you buy the instruction manual.
It doesn't come with the system for free. They're charging money for a manual on how your game console works. Yeah. It's stupid. Anyway. Sorry to interrupt.
That's alright. My positive thing is Masayoshi Yokoyama has a really cool suit.
Oh.
That's like my highlight of the Nintendo Direct. If you go to like 37 minutes and 52 seconds, he's got this really cool, like it looks like a standard black suit, but then it's got like this kind of like red background floral grey design, like on just a side, and it's, I love it. That's
you said
style.
37 what?
3752.
Oh, he's the Yakuza guy. That's
of course he's the Yakuza guy.
Of course he's the Yakuza guy.
If you dress that stylishly, I think you legally have to work on Yakuza.
Yeah, he's got drip.
Yep.
That was your positive takeaway?
Yeah, that's my highlight of the Nintendo Direct.
That's funny.
But you know what? Yeah. There were games and stuff shown.
I
think that's what people are going to be excited about more than anything. Because even if they're having to pay an arm, a leg, an ear, and another optional body part, because things are getting more expensive, there's
sacrifice
still
your
some
firstborn.
good games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you want to take the first of the games we've got listed here, Caedo?
Sure. For a handful of seconds, during like the final montage of games that will be available on the Switch 2, Silksong got a few seconds.
Man,
and
that is all that community needs to get super hyped.
It said 2025 on the whole thing. It's another nothing, right? That's what I keep hearing anyway from the ones who are kind of outside looking in, not the fans, obviously, not the fans that are so thirsty for this, but temper your expectations, because like you've been waiting a long time if you're a fan of Hollow Knight and wanting Silksong so bad. I hope that this is the you're finally going to get it situation. Yeah. But I don't know. They've done this before.
Yeah. It's a game with a running joke at the moment.
I don't have a count, but I'm pretty sure it's been more than twice.
Man, I feel like a lot of gaming communities are waiting for games which are either never going to come out or which are years and years and years away always. Like, it's just becoming more of a thing, but if you're a fan of a franchise, then you either end up as a fan of like a yearly release franchise or just the game's never coming. You're going to be like a decade older by the time the game you want is actually out.
Yeah. And this is, well, The Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 for both of us.
Yeah.
So, you know, hey, we're getting cool games in the interim, though. Like, we've already got 2 this year that are good. So, you know, I'll take what I can get, dude.
I'm going to say this is a good year for games, even if it's not going to be like an amazing year for our channels.
Yes. Like, I mean, my channel's already doing better, dude. Like, I it's because of Starfield. Like, I committed way too hard and burned out on Starfield. And as soon as I switched up to Avowed, like, Atomfall is now, I think Atomfall is competing with Avowed for views now, by the way.
That's good.
I'm pretty sure we may have, like, it may have been just that nice gray area of like AA where not everybody was covering it to that degree. that we both kind of benefited from it that way.
One of us benefited from it. I've had like 2 good videos with Avowed and Atomfall, but yeah, unfortunately they've not been big hits for me.
Oh, well, okay. I'm speaking for myself then, sorry. My bad. It's largely because I'd been used to like under 1,000 views every single upload for the past year. So like when it's beyond that, when it's 10 times plus that, and I'm like, oh my god, it's actually working. People are actually seeing things. And that's why they're just like, oh, Caedo, I thought you were dead. Or Caedo, you're back. Yeah, been here the whole time.
Yeah, we never left.
Suffering for my art. Speaking of suffering, Borderlands 4 got shown by freaking Randy Pitchford. His vibe was so false, so much false excitement. And they cut away from all of the violence in I don't know how much of the Nintendo Direct you saw, but it was an ongoing thing in the whole thing where like if anything was a mature game and it had violence in it, there was none. It was either cut away from before something happened or it was just like sweeping shots of like sweeping beauty shots basically. So that since the majority of Borderlands is blowing things up into small little bits, it was almost nothing. It was just Randy Pitchford talking over in a false excited sound to his commentary. I also just don't like Randy Pitchford at all anymore. Like I don't.
That's really weird footage.
Yeah.
It's weird to see a Borderlands trailer where you don't see a gunfire. Like, he cuts away just before him, like, the character's walking around on empty streets. Oh no, you do technically see one gunshot where it's aimed at nothing. And that's it.
Oh, yeah. And the vibe is weird, too. Like, he's got he's got, like, a Hello Fellow Kids vibe with his whole outfit and stuff. Sorry, I just hate him. Anyway, yeah, Borderlands 4. Didn't see too much except some vehicles.
Yeah, we got a couple of vehicle shots, and we got to see some of the locations. Graphically, it looks good, and it's still got that Borderlands style. But besides, like, the visuals, you're not really getting anything else from Borderlands.
Yeah.
From the Nintendo
it's unfortunate that the higher definition Borderlands gets, the less that outline shows up too. Like the comic outline art style that it has. Yeah. It's still there, obviously.
Yeah,
but...
I'm glad they haven't, like, stripped away at that too much, though. Because they could have just gone with, oh, let's just cut back on that as well. But it still looks like Borderlands. Which I appreciate.
Yeah. I just hope they make a good Borderlands.
Yeah.
That's all. Anyway, the Duskbloods.
Yeah,
right?
This is a new FromSoft game.
A new FromSoft game. PvPvE.
Yeah, it's a multiplayer FromSoft game.
Yeah, another one.
We just had Elden Ring Night Rain, and now we're getting another multiplayer FromSoft game. And people are split over this. One of the reasons is it's just expensive. It's like, what, $80 or something? Like, it's pricey.
But that's probably based on Nintendo's pricing model.
Yeah.
More so.
Like, it costs a lot.
Nintendo's ego is freaking massive when it comes to charging people, so...
Yeah, it's like...
Because they keep buying it. Sorry.
Yeah, I've also heard people talking about how, like, oh, what, you think, like, FromSoft fans aren't going to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 and this game? Because obviously they are. Because that community's kind of obsessive.
That's how they all get money. It's like, oh, hey, an exclusive game to the console. Look at that. You got to buy the console too. That's how it works.
I've seen a lot of people also
complaining
about
that way.
How this has blood in the title, but it's not Bloodborne. Everybody's been waiting for like a Bloodborne remake, remaster, brought to other platforms sort of thing, and that just hasn't happened. But now FromSoft have made another game with blood in the title, so that's got the community all riled up. Which has been somewhat amusing to see. But yeah, it's a multiplayer FromSoft game. Like, the people who are gonna buy this are gonna buy this, and then the rest of us are just not. Like, I know that sounds so basic, but this really is an either-or situation.
Yeah. But it's a FromSoft cool. game, so it looks cool. It might be cool to spectate. I find enjoyment in spectating FromSoft games.
Yeah.
Because I would never want to play them. So,
I mean, as someone who has played a bunch of them, I have no interest in this. I think FromSoft, the multiplayer is never something that's appealed to me. Like, never. I always play offline. Like, I don't even get the hints that people leave, like, on the ground. I have no interest in that side. It's not for me at all. And I think there's a lot of other people who feel the same way. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say.
Also, I think my tone was a little off when I was talking about people buying consoles because a specific game is on them. I'm not excluded in that. BT dubs. I was just talking about the PS5. I have a PS5. I bought it for very specific games.
I'm excluded from that.
Notably FF7 Rebirth. And what else did I get? I got Spider-Man 2 as well. Spider-Man 2 is really good. Final Fantasy 16. Like, I got it for some pretty specific reasons. But it incentivized, those games incentivized me to buy a PlayStation 5, even though I've been a PlayStation shill for who knows how long at this point. But anyway, was that it for the Nintendo Direct thing?
I think so. Yeah.
Our list is messed up. We could have done an easy transition over to the next thing.
I only realized it when you started talking about Borderlands 4 and we still hadn't talked about the Duskbloods. But it's fine. It's just a very small thing. For anyone who has Game Pass, at least Game Pass for PC, I assume on console as well, Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition has literally just been added. Like, we only found this out because Caedo asked me about Atomfall and I had to check my achievements. So I booted up the app and all of a sudden it's there. Yeah, Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition, which is almost 200 gigabytes. It's a huge game because it's Borderlands 3 and all of the DLC.
All the DLC. Not just the expansions. Not just the story stuff.
It's like just tons and tons and tons of things. Season 2 pass or whatever they call it. Like, it's a real big game. And if you are a Borderlands fan, then this might be something that interests you. Once again, almost 200 gigs, literally 196.19 gigabytes install size is what it's telling me.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a big game. But yeah, if you haven't played Borderlands 3 but have Game Pass, then this is a way to play it and everything it comes with. And I would recommend Borderlands 3. Like, it's one of those games which I feel like got more harshly judged than it deserved because it had a really good previous game. Like, Borderlands 2 is great and people love it. But then Borderlands 3 came out and people were like, well, I think Borderlands 2 does some better stuff, therefore this game is bad.
Which 3's bad because 2's good.
Yeah. I see that happen a lot, especially like in the past 5-6 years sort of thing. It feels like Borderlands 3 is a really good shooter. It's lots of fun. There are characters who are enjoyable as well as ones who aren't. And it's a good time. I recommend it.
Yeah. I do as well. Like, if you like shooting stuff with your friends, that's a game to do that in, for sure. Sarge and I got plenty of hours out of it, as well as other friends of mine had joined in. I'm pretty sure I have some highlights of us playing together. I remember you hopping into Moses' mech and then crashing immediately. You're like, check this out, and then you crash.
Yeah. Well, if that doesn't entice people to play the game, I don't know what will.
Oh man, that was such a good time when you crashed.
I may as well plug as well. I've got an Ultimate Beginner's Guide for Borderlands 3.
Oh,
So, yeah, I made a guide on it, which is now my most viewed Borderlands 3 video. Like, that's another game which did not do well for me when it came out. Like, there was only a couple of videos which got, like, over 1,000 views initially. But the Ultimate Beginner's Guide, slowly over time, as more and more people have played, have been like, oh, hey, here's a guide, and it's really helpful. So that's nice.
Yeah, I made a lot of one-off guides for Borderlands 3, and I probably shouldn't have. Because I did, like, single weapons, which is just a bad idea. If anybody wants to know why, people don't know to search for specific weapons if they don't know they exist. It's like a self-defeating way of doing things. But I did a countdown. One of my first experimental countdowns for Caedo's countdowns was on Borderlands 3.
Blammiest guns, was it?
Top 10 blammiest guns in Borderlands 3, I think.
Yep.
And that one did pretty friggin' well. That was one of the things that told me, like, oh, this list format really works well. Unfortunately, it's, formulaic. So I have to keep doing things to keep myself interested and creatively fulfilled while I do those. But still, like, had a lot of fun with it. I don't know how many times I have to say that, I guess. I'm trying to justify it, I swear. Watch our videos on Borderlands 3 and also play Borderlands 3, I guess.
Yeah. Another game people might enjoy is Starfield. Hey, there are still people playing it. There are still fans. I actually, because we've got a little Starfield article, I brought up Starfield Steam charts, which I will say is not like an indicative number of how many total people are playing, but it can be good to tell, like, where the peaks and troughs are in player counts and stuff. And playing average players in the last 30 days is just over 3,000, and, like, peak players is at just over 6,000.
Yeah,
and it's
I'm looking at the subreddit.
It's been on the decline since October, which I feel is DLC time.
That's DLC
that, like,
time.
Shattered Space? Yeah. But yeah, since the DLC, it's been real low. Like,
Well, like Shat in space.
Oh, Caedo. I was gonna say, I'm sure a lot of people will be playing it on, like, GamePass and stuff rather than buying it. So the player numbers are a lot higher than that. And there are some people who are big fans. Shipbuilding's
I couldn't help myself.
I feel like I now have to defend the game at least a little bit. Shipbuilding's a really fun aspect, which I think they did a good job with. It's a shame that once you've built your ship, it's just like a fast travel machine, but...
No, you're going negative, Sarge.
Sorry, I can't help it. Yeah. We have a Starfield article we're covering. What is it, Caedo?
I don't know if we need to anymore.
No, we still should.
I was looking at the subreddit. It's 9,000 total users, or 900,000 total users, but only 150 browsing.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, it's like the time we're recording is just after midnight or around midnight America time.
Okay.
Like, late morning Europe. Like, I feel like this isn't a busy internet time.
That's true.
That number probably doubles later on, you know?
Okay. To 300.
Yeah.
So this article, I was being cheeky, but now I just, like, I ruined the whole subject. Exploring Starfield Side Missions, April edition. This is one of Bethesda's official like article things. It says, in this series, we will dig into some exciting side missions in Starfield, highlighting off the beaten path quests and content you might have missed.
Yeah. Before we go further, I will say I really like this idea. I think, as a concept, this is a very good thing. just being like, oh, here's where you can find some little interesting quests. I think this is good.
Yes.
As a concept, this is solid and fun, and I hope they continue this, not just with Starfield, but maybe with their other games. I think it's a good way to give people a bit of nostalgia for the games they like. It's fairly low effort to produce. It's just kind of nice, and I want that stated at the beginning of this article, because you've already seen what we like about Starfield. We're gonna end up dissing it, so I want it stated.
Okay. Oh, you're being so optimistic.
I'm not being... No. I'm saying that this sort of content thing is nice, especially because it's like April edition. They do this once a month and are like, here's some cool little side missions from previous games that you might want to check out or you might have missed. I like that. It's a celebration of the games they've made. It gets players to go, oh, here's a thing I've seen before or haven't seen before. That's kind of interesting. Doing it once a month is like a good kind of thing. It doesn't feel so pushy. Like, I like this thing, article, structure, whatever you call it.
Yeah. I feel like I shouldn't have added this one.
What?
Because
No.
I was just going to make fun of it the whole time.
We can make fun of it now. I just wanted to start on a positive note.
All right. Side mission Starfield off the beaten path. Okay, that's the second part of it. It doesn't even say a writer. It just says Bethesda Studios, I think.
Yeah, there's no one credited to this.
Unfortunate. Probably to save their own hide, to be honest.
That wouldn't surprise me.
So this format, it shows the name of the quest. Like it does it in a way that probably you or I would do it. Mm-hmm. It shows the name of the quest, the mission overview, which is like a little summary of what it is, and then how to start it, which is like the most important, so you can go experience it yourself or be reminded where to get it. Very much like laid out in a way that is like, okay, if you're interested in this is how you access it, or if you just want the cliff notes, here's what it's about. Really nice, clean way to set it up. Unfortunately, I think that the mistake that Starfield made in the very beginning was not breadcrumbing to these things that are innately way more interesting than just blindly exploring the galaxy. Like the Operation Starseed, which is the first one that they show, is a colony full of clones of historical figures that have there's some sort of like conspiracy going on when you arrive, and you can end up, by the end, if she survives, you can have Amelia Earhart join your crew on your ship.
That's really quite cool.
Really quite cool.
I never experienced this in all of my time with Starfield.
Yeah.
And I can explain why quite easily by literally just reading the how to start. Begin Operation Starseed by jumping to the Charybdis system. After entering the vicinity of a planet Charybdis-free, you'll receive a distress call to guide you to the mission.
Yep.
So you need to go to this system, which I don't remember the Charybdis system. I don't think there's any...
It's a higher level one too. It's harder to get to unless you have the jump capacity.
Yeah, that also probably means there's no like standard quest stuff you'll pick up which will tell you to go there.
Nope,
most of
there's
the
no breadcrumbing. There's no breadcrumbing whatsoever to this one.
There's nothing to send you there. And then even when you get into the system, you have to then make sure to travel to the planet, or at least to like the outerness of the planet, the space around it. Which, that's... Most people won't have done this, I reckon. It's not something that you've got any reason to find, even though it sounds like one of the most interesting side missions, which is probably why they put it up front and center, because nobody's done this, and it's really fun looking content. Yeah, it is one of the cooler, if not coolest, side missions that are just kind of out of nowhere kind of thing. And it's interesting. Juno's Gambit is the other. Oh, there's two more. There's Failure to Communicate and Juno's Gambit.
Failure to Communicate, that one does get like that one triggers in multiple, like pretty well traveled systems. Like that one's hard to actually miss.
Yeah, well, the trigger for it is jumping to an uninhabited system. So just a system which doesn't have, like, a proper settlement, which is most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is one you will have pop up early on as you play.
Yeah. And that one's okay.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. It's like a very just, oh, it's a side mission. I guess I'll do a side mission just as a bit of a break.
Yeah. It's some settlers that have formed a loose coalition kind of thing, and you help kind of bring them back together, even though some of them don't like each other because they're like, oh, spacers are just messing with us, can you like help? And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And then it takes you to a station that you wouldn't find otherwise, so like that part's cool. Oh. And of course that station has one of the magazines that I cover.
Hey, at least they put some unique loot in there. That's something.
One unique loot. Yes. One single unique loot. Yeah, and then the last one is Juno's Gambit, which is one of the, like, that one was a mixture. The Juno's Gambit is a floating probe.
I mean, it's a ship that.
A ship?
Yeah,
oh, it is
you
a ship
board it.
Inhabited by a rogue AI, which that one's cool too. You get introduced, if you haven't already, to what's the faction?
Ryujin Industries.
Ryujin Industries. Thank you, Sarge. Yep. You get introduced to Ryujin Industries because they want that rogue AI, basically.
Yeah.
And you get to decide whether you take out the agents that are there or ally with them, and maybe also get an in to work for Ryujin. It might be one of the ways you can do that. I don't remember.
Possibly. I know there's definitely dialogue for if you are an operative, which I liked. You know what? That's something positive I can say about Starfield.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times they had like dialogue relating to factions you joined or traits you picked up. That was a cool thing about it.
That is nice. Yeah. But yeah, these three quests are, interesting. I mean, 2 out of 3 anyway, in my mind, are interesting things to discover while you're.
Juno's Gambit is one of the like most memorable side missions for me. I think it also helps that it's really quite short. It's basically thing appears, you show up, get the information, make a decision, quest over, which might sound boring when I put it that way, but is really, really good for just not stretching things too thin, which is Starfield's biggest issue.
Yeah, big being the word here.
Yes, but no, I think you're spot on with the breadcrumbing problem, which is probably a large reason why they're putting these articles out now, because it's clear that a lot of people haven't experienced these missions.
Well, it's that they do it so aggressively with the the main faction missions. Mm-hmm. Like you're gonna just bump into them like while you're doing the main story. That's just going to happen. But then when it comes to these ones that are like diamonds in the rough, that are like good if you know where they are, or at least have an idea of where to try to find them. Like you have, like maybe an hour more of interesting, 20 minutes to an hour, like, because Juno's Gambit is a very short one.
Yeah.
Of more gameplay that's actually not just going from planet to planet and scanning and killing things. So
it really does feel like Starfield was a good RPG that was put and spread over like something 10 times bigger than what it should have been.
Yeah.
Which meant that you didn't experience half of the good stuff and just had emptiness instead.
Go back to the pizza metaphor that Camel used. Mm-hmm. It's like couple slices of pepperoni like right in this spot right here. The like this is good right here, and the rest is just
cardboard.
The cardboard
pizza.
Yeah. The bits of detail are good. Yeah. Like I was playing around with the idea before I got like completely burned out to do like 10 places you've never seen or 10 places you haven't seen in Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonny DeFalco's house was one of those places, or Sonny DeFalco's estate. I don't know what to call it.
Rings a bell, but I can't really remember it.
But it's this big like mansion that has like a pool inside and like different party rooms and stuff like that, and lots of Aurora drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously what brought me there, I think initially, was another magazine, because that's, you know, if there's any incentive to like find something, you know, for me it's, you know, the collectibles. But even so, like there's nothing that leads you there. Like it feels like a fully realized and yet excluded from any quest kind of thing, which is bad. That's bad, because then it's just a dungeon with extra stuff in it, which just bummed me out. Also, it had an outdoor pool in like a methane atmosphere, which I found really hilarious. Which, to anybody who doesn't know, methane will just kill you if you breathe it in like oxygen. So I thought it was just really funny that either the swimmers would die as soon as they go outside, or they would have to wear goofy little helmets while they swim. Either way, imagining that is funny to me. So, yeah. But anyway, I think this was an interesting article, but draws a circle around the issues with Starfield too.
Yeah. I feel like Bethesda could genuinely remake Starfield, and if they just limited it to like 10 systems and made actual uniques and scaled back the legendary system, then we'd have a really fun time with that game.
Yeah,
like,
we would.
It still would definitely have flaws, but that would make it so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than anything, it's removing stuff.
Yeah, scale back. Like, I mean, a lot of open world games are having trouble with that lately too. I saw that with people talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows again.
Yeah.
God forbid an Ubisoft game is too big. So, like, I think we're just getting fatigued, man. I think we're tired. We don't want to go anywhere game. We want a game that's, you know, we have our objective. We can very easily find that objective, but we can also explore the nooks and crannies if we want to, and not get completely lost in the sauce and do repetitive tasks the whole time.
Yeah.
There's a happy medium, I'm pretty sure. Wouldn't call myself a pro gamer by any means, but I'm pretty sure that there's a happy medium between way too open world and too small.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the problem is we initially didn't have big enough open worlds, and everyone was wanting these worlds to be bigger and more stuff in them and all of that jazz. And then we started to get that, but then the companies were like, cool, we know what people want. They want the next game to be bigger. And that has just kind of been ran with after we already reach a point of, oh yeah, this is big enough now. This is good stuff in it. Lots of things. We like it. And then they just kept trying to make it bigger. And no, there was a point you needed to stop. And that was like about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Like, even I wonder if Skyrim was like it was a starting baseline and then people just kept going.
Yeah. Well, I think Skyrim's about as big as things need to be. Like, you can make a game a little bit bigger than that. Like, I think you shouldn't be able to tell instinctively that a game is bigger than Skyrim, or else it's too big. Like, I could not tell you if Fallout 4 or Skyrim are bigger. Like, in my brain, they're kind of the same size. They feel like, oh yeah, these are big open world games, but they're not huge. But then there's so many other games where it's like, oh no, this is too big now. This feels like a size category up. And that's too much.
Yeah, or man, The Witcher 3. Like, I could catch flack for this one, but when you hit Skellige and like they have just these like caches floating around in the water, and like the little question mark points of interest things that are just like basic loot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Or materials. Like by that point of the game, you're like, I'm good. At least that's how I felt. Like
it's kind of stuff to go to just if you want to like finish the map more than anything.
Yeah, but at that point it is a chore too. Like because some people are just compelled. Like me personally, I do get just compelled by those markers on the map.
Oh yeah.
Even if they're nothing. Even if they're just here's a few coins, cool, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah. Earlier in The Witcher, it's still good. Like there's still things to find, like places of power and like enemy nests and stuff like that, or monster nests or whatever. But it seems like Skellige just drops off, from what I remember correctly. If I remember it correctly. But it has been a while since I've played it too.
Same.
So I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, or grill me in the comments, because that's probably going to happen. Because
we've talked negatively about so many games from different franchises in this episode.
Complainer Genesis this whole time. So I'm going to not complain, or try not to complain, about the Devil May Cry anime that I binged last night, actually.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's hilariously, the intro theme that made a lot of people concerned is Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. Which, once you start watching the anime, you're over the age of 25, maybe, you'll probably start realizing that this is a very 2000s era kind of vibe that they're going for.
Yeah.
And if you look through it at that lens, or look at it through that lens, then you'll probably enjoy the Devil May Cry anime. There's a little bit of cringe jokes in there, but like Dante's personality is intact. There's references galore for fans. Even other Capcom properties kind of make an appearance for a second. There's one episode that like rapid fires them. It's like, Street Fighter, Mega Man, Resident Evil, kind of things. The villain is interesting.
It's always good.
I'm trying not to be too negative. They loaded up with a lot of exposition, though.
Okay.
That's the part that as somebody who's already kind of knowledgeable in Devil May Cry lore, and knowing that it's not very important when you play the games, they spent so much time on the lore, dude, on building characters, on like setting up even the villain's backstory and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you don't have to do that. We can have some hyper violent demon killing without us considering the moral implications that maybe these demons were not all bad.
I
like
the sound of that. It's a show after all, not the game. I want some of the story stuff.
There's some, but it feels like it goes a little bit overboard, is what I'm saying.
I do wonder as well if, because you've kind of experienced a bunch of this already, it is just the feeling of hearing the same thing. Like, I've not played the Devil May Cry games, so I imagine if I watched it, it wouldn't feel anywhere near as slow and like, come on, next thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm wanting to see if I can get your take on it too. Like maybe like next episode we do, or something like that, to see if what.
I've already started watching a different anime, and I kind of want to finish that first.
No!
I'm sorry, Caedo.
Well, now you gotta binge 2 animes.
I put it on specifically because I was like, this kind of looks tropey and boring, and like I'm not going to enjoy it that much. I'll just put it on while I'm like waiting for something else. And then I was like, this is actually quite compelling. I'm really good, and they like subvert the tropes in a couple of ways.
Can you add it to the end? To what have you done?
Yes. I've only watched like 2 episodes. It might be terrible afterwards.
All right. Well, if you want to watch an animated show that's goofy and maybe a little cringe sometimes, maybe a little sometimes on the nose, but also has some sick action, Devil May Cry anime. You can knock it out in a afternoon or evening too. Like each episode is like 20 minutes or something like that, and then the finale is like 30, and it's 8 episodes. Yeah, it's not long. But yeah, I overall thought it was, fun watch.
Cool.
Compared to Nocturne though, I'd still recommend Nocturne over this. It's the Castlevania anime. The Castlevania Nocturne is fantastic. Out of like the Netflix animes that I tended to watch, which were largely game-based franchise animes.
Yeah, because Nocturne's it's a horror film.
Oh yeah, Castlevania Nocturne.
Yep.
Specifically.
I did think that was quite a switch when you mentioned it. My brain had to like double check.
Gotta say the full name. Yeah. Okay, so that, I ranted way too long. I am so sorry, everyone.
About things.
Oh my god. Okay, well let's move on to Atomfall. Let's move on to the main topic, Sarge.
Yeah, Atomfall. Okay, first up, good or bad game?
Good.
Excellent. There you go, everyone. Atomfall, good. That's the most important information.
Our short reviews.
Yep, we both think it's good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a fun little game. I do say little as well because it's quite short.
Yes.
Like, I was pretty thorough on my first playthrough. There were a few locations I didn't visit, and like a couple of leads, which are basically quest lines, which I didn't go through with. But I think I was a little under 20 hours to get finished, and that was doing like a few different endings as well by like saving and then reloading a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I experienced like almost 90% of the game, I reckon, within those 20 hours. Like, it's not a huge game, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Double A is kind of where it lands for what to expect, length of game, price point, that kind of thing. I think it's like $50 USD.
Okay. I thought this was the case because it's cheaper than a AAA game would be on the UK prices as well. I can't remember exactly what price it is. But then I saw people being like, "Oh, I'm not going to spend $80 on this."
Yeah,
and my brain was
I saw that.
Is it really $80?
It's not, though. It's not.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you shouldn't spend $80 on it then. Where are you buying this from for like 1.5 times the price?
Yeah, are you going to a key seller and they're overpricing it or whatever? Like, yeah, it's not $80.
That makes sense.
I spent extra for the deluxe edition because I wanted to get to it early and then get rewarded for getting it early by making a video quickly.
Mm-hmm. So, and that video is paid for the deluxe edition, I assume.
And then some. Yeah, it's paid for my next deluxe, whatever I get now at this point.
Excellent. Last time I checked, it was like 70k views, which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Especially for like a couple of weeks.
Doing really well. The gnome video, it's slowly ticking up.
But that's the most important video you've ever made, Caedo.
I know it's the most. I wanted to bring it up because that was a very kind comment you left. Yeah. There's some gnomes in Wyndham Village, some like little ceramic garden gnomes that you can break. 10 for an achievement, and I made a guide on those. And my guide seems to be the most complete out of any I've seen online because I found 14. Other people found like 11. Oh. So,
on that note, there are so many things hidden. Because you're saying you like found the most gnomes and stuff. I just had someone leaving kind of a annoyed comment being like, "Oh, how many skill points are there?" They're wanting to know that. And I don't know. Do you know, Caedo? How many skill points you can potentially unlock through training stimulants?
I can count how many I wrote down, but it's not a perfect number.
Yeah. Because the thing is, the game is very much about exploring and finding things. Be that information or equipment or training stimulants, which are what give you skill points, or even just little tidbits of lore and information. Like, this is an exploration game more than anything, almost. And that's really quite fun about it. Because one thing which I think a lot of people won't realise is there's no, like, level up system or experience or things like that. It's not you will discover a location plus 10 XP. Oh, you fought a battle, you killed a bunch of things plus 100 XP. Like, that is stuff you just kind of do because you do it. You don't really get rewarded just for having uncovered a location or killed an enemy. You have to go that step extra to either, like, loot them or check out the area, find out what's going on there. I quite like that about it.
Yeah.
I feel like it sets it apart from most other games.
Yeah. It follows almost the like it's direct reward, like you were kind of saying, I think. You explore, you get rewarded for it.
Yeah.
With training stims or manuals if you're really lucky.
Yeah.
In this case. So I counted 46 cells where I wrote down training stim, but some of those are training stim times 2 and times 3. So probably 55-ish. By my count. Again, my count is probably off. And also, did I include the premium or the deluxe? No, I didn't. There's a deluxe edition cache in Wyndham Village that gives you three, which is pay to win. I won't deny that at all. There's like 4 in Dr. Holder's lab under the place. Yeah, I want to say like 55 or something like that.
Man, that's definitely more than I found. I feel like at the end of my playthrough, I maybe had like 40 points, and I don't think I spent a quarter of them.
Yeah, I mean, when you get the inoculation too, like that's a freebie. So,
yeah, that's
one of the most valuable of the skills you can get. My theory still is that, like, because you can kill everyone, they had to create a way to where you could be resistant to infection.
Yeah. Like, you know, that's something brilliant about the game. The game lets you kill everyone, hence I'm doing a kill everything playthrough. And you can tell with a lot of the design and stuff that they made sure that key items were always accessible. Like, if you kill a merchant who has an atomic battery, like, for sale, then that atomic battery will be in their inventory as a corpse. And on top of that, you only need, like, 5 atomic batteries to kind of beat the game. That's, like, the lowest number you can do it with. And there are so many atomic batteries.
Yeah.
Like, just tons of them in the game.
Like, 3 times more than you need.
Yeah, none of them are easy to find. But you can just keep finding them. And it's next to impossible to lock yourself out of finishing the game. Like, I'm sure you could do it, but you would need to... God, you'd almost have to intentionally do it for it to occur.
You'd need to forget how to read, and also intentionally try to, I don't know, find some sort of glitch where you infinitely fall through the ground. Because that's what
I was thinking, like, stock up on atomic batteries in your inventory and then drop them out of your inventory, like, down a well or something.
No, go to the water's edge in Wyndham Village. And
yeah, that might work too.
Throw them in where the leeches are.
Like, yeah, it's a game where they did a really good job at making it beatable, especially in a bunch of different ways. There are several different endings. Oh man, I'm going to compare it to New Vegas. I'm going to say it does kind of a New Vegas thing, where no matter what you do, there are different endings you can achieve, and there's always a way to progress forward.
It does do slides at the end. That's true.
It does that as well.
Very, very New Vegas.
Oh yeah, and they're like
very Obsidian,
segmented into the different things. Yeah.
Because it's not just New Vegas. Because
no.
Avowed has ending slides too, kind of.
Yeah.
So just not in that post-apoc slideshow vibe. It's a little different. They use fade to blacks instead.
Yeah, which makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Given the context of it all. It'd be so weird if it was just a projector slideshow at the end of Avowed.
Yeah, that'd be really funny. Pitch. We should learn to like pitch the game or summarize the game at the very beginning.
Honestly, I don't think that's too much on us with this one. Atomfall is a very difficult to like describe game. We already mentioned it doesn't quite fit into a box, and it's like RPG adjacent. Like it's got skills and stuff.
Well, I'm just saying like also just setting and what the premise is.
In 1960s England, in the Lake District. I love that they showed a pretty part of England and didn't go with like, oh, it's grey and rainy and stuff. They actually showed England, like, not on a stereotype, which makes sense. It's a British team. Like, but it's nice to not just be like, oh, England, it must be raining constantly and like horrible. It's like, no, there's plenty of nice places. Even after a power plant like has a big destructive event. But yeah, it's set in the 1960s in England in like an alternate reality kind of split off timeline, much like we have with Fallout, where the Wyndham power plant disaster, which was one of the first like big power plant issues, there was like a fire there that went on. They do an alternate history version of what happened there, and you just kind of wake up in the quarantine zone, and this whole area has been like blocked off, and your goal is really just to escape. You're just looking for a way out. That's the player motivation. But to do this, you kind of have to find out what really happened, what went on. You talk to all the different NPCs, and a lot of them are like, hey, I'm going to help you escape if you do this thing for me.
Yep. Yeah, and the it's set up in a way that feels a lot more like... When you play it, it feels a lot more like Stalker or Metro, which is the comparison I made, because it's not really a British Fallout. It's like it's got some inspiration, like when we're talking about the ending slides and stuff like that, but that's more just like what designing what makes sense, for their narrative that they're trying to tell. Whereas like the combat, it has like the lethality of Fallout 4 survival mode.
Yeah, I do compare it a lot to that, because one big thing as well is whoever kind of gets the first hit in a combat in Atomfall is probably going to be the one who wins.
Yeah.
Like, getting that drop on the enemy really matters, and I love it.
Yeah. Or like even the trespassing thing, or the quick hostility of enemies, or the I don't know what you...
Man, that system I most compare to Hitman. Like, if you play the Hitman game, it's like, oh, you get a little bit close to someone and they start to get suspicious, but then you're able to get away and it stops it. Like, every single time that happens, it reminds me of Hitman. And I feel like that must have been the inspiration there, because it's such a similar system. And it works so well. Yeah, I love it for making it so that you don't just have enemy, ally. It's like, the protocol soldiers are technically on your side, but you get too close to them, kind of push them around a bit, and things will go badly.
Yeah. Eating, drinking, and sleep, not necessary though. Like, those are not a thing. Eating is for healing purposes though.
Eating and drinking.
Eating and drinking, sorry.
You get your tea and your Cornish pasties.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, it's so brilliantly British.
Somebody corrected me and said to pronounce pasty as pasty, because that's the British way of pronouncing it.
Yeah, a pasty is a different thing entirely.
I'm
not
aware.
Be eating them.
I'm aware.
It's a paste. It's a pastry.
Yeah.
Think of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'm pronouncing it in an American accent, so it's that makes it weird for some people, which is...
Although I can give you vindication on one thing, because I saw, I think, in your tips and tricks video that someone was trying to correct you, because you said it was like the British countryside or the English countryside.
I said British countryside, yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, no, it's the English countryside. It's both.
It's, yeah, I was gonna... Yeah. That one didn't bother me because they were just
it bothered me.
They were they were splitting hairs that didn't need... They weren't even on a scalp. Like, they...
No. It's like the American version would be like standing in the heart of Texas, looking up in the sky, looking and saying something like, oh, look at that beautiful Texas sky, and someone running along going, no, it's the American sky. It's like, what?
Or the reverse, like, look at that American sky, and somebody runs by with their shotgun. They're just like, no, you say Texas sky. Because, you know, guns, America. Woo.
Yeah. Atomfall has guns as well.
It does.
They are very much here, although it's not as much of a shooter, because, you know, it's set in England. But because we've got the whole military side of it, and there are soldiers who are set up here, we do have a whole bunch of firearms.
Yeah.
And I like how they did that system, especially because it starts out with most of the guns suck. Like, most of
the guns suck and are rusty. Like, it's great.
They're single shot a lot of the time. The early ones, which just makes combat that much harder.
That's a simplified way to
land a headshot straight away. It's
show off like not quite thrown together weaponry, but weaponry that's aged, and mishandled and all kinds of stuff, or not cared for, and then the upgrade system that allows you to like upkeep the weapons the way they're supposed to be and make them pretty again, which is cool. Really simple and straightforward way to do it too. Like pipe weapons in Fallout get left at the wayside pretty quickly. Whereas in this game, it's like using the pipe weapons to make, like, I don't know, a
combat rifle or whatever.
A combat rifle, like it's really nice. It's really nice, nice upgrade system that Atomfall has. So there's an example of what Atomfall does better than Fallout. We kind of agreed that melee is not great.
It's not.
It's got some groundwork in it that is pretty cool when it works.
Throwing is the most fun part of melee.
Throwing is the best part of melee.
Like being able
I'm
to
gonna correct you on that.
An axe or something at an enemy is just like, oh, that's neat.
Because I left that bit with chucking the mace at somebody who slipped down the hill on my tips and tricks on purpose, because like that was just great.
I will say it's not the most optimal thing to do, because if you're going to throw a melee weapon, you need another melee weapon afterwards to keep throwing.
Or you can just punch them.
Like, yeah, you can just punch them. Oh man, I had a really fun moment where initially I was going to do a video of like things not to do in Atomfall, and it was just going to be a bunch of stupid deaths because I got blown up by a sheep, which, you know, hashtag British problems.
Yep.
But I decided I was going to run around Skevamore Prison and just punch all the guards. And after 20 minutes of doing that, I was like, well, I'm just not going to die at this point.
You just kill the guards by punching them?
I did. I just kept running around, and the thing was I kept finding guards on their own, and they didn't have a chance to, like, turn their guns on me, and then I just punch them repeatedly, and they die. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you're able to close the gap using melee on people with guns, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But getting to them is the thing.
Yeah. The other issue as well is a lot of times you'll be dealing with, like, groups of enemies. And while you're locked in a melee battle with another opponent, someone else might just shoot you.
Yeah. The druids in particular have really good spacing for like destroying you. So
yeah, they're also pretty accurate as well.
They're very accurate with their bows.
It's hard to dodge the arrows.
Yeah. A lot of the time, I don't even see them travel. They just...
Yeah.
Maybe they're hit scan. That's terrifying.
I feel like they travel, but I think they also travel, like, in half a second, no matter the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I have dodged an arrow before, but I think I've done it, like, 1 in 10 times sort of thing.
Yeah. I've only avoided an arrow by going back behind cover.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise they just hit me anyway.
Yeah.
And it takes off like half your health. Like
they hurt a lot.
It's rough, dude. I like that. I want to talk about the tutorial for a second because it's really great. Yep. So setting the stage for the tutorial, there's probably footage of it. I'm probably playing the like early footage I have of the game. Maybe running out, actually. I might need more. But a dude in a hazmat suit just runs into the room after you wake up in a cot, not knowing who you are. You're silent pro tag, you don't know who you are, kind of thing, amnesia, whatever. Dude comes in, is bleeding out. He's like, I need a bandage, please. And that's your like first part of the like tutorial, crafting a bandage for this guy.
Yep.
But then when you come back, he's positioned in such a way where you see the takedown prompt as you re-enter the room. So that's the chance you have to snap his neck and keep all the materials for yourself.
Yep.
And then get the note off of him to continue the story. That is brilliant. That is so cleverly done as a tutorial setup on showing you like 3 or 4 different things at once in such a short period of time. It's like how to scavenge for materials, what kind of materials to look for, which is, you know, cloth and alcohol, kind of the most important. And then silent takedowns, the leads system, as well as dialogue, and having different, you know, avenues to go in dialogue if you decide to leave that person alive.
Yeah.
And then key cards. Your awesome key card that opens all the important doors.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to bring up based on that is, first off, I really, really like the fact that killing friendly NPCs is something you kind of get rewarded for. It's typically a faster way to get, like, quest rewards for doing their things.
Yes.
And I like that, because so often games will try to decentivize doing the wrong thing, which you're definitely doing when you're just snapping these people's necks for no good reason. But it's nice to be like, okay, I mean, you've missed out on the quest and all the fun leads and stuff and all the story, but I guess you get that magazine or that atomic battery a bit quicker. Like, it's nice. I really appreciate that. Especially because I still think I don't think most people need, like, something to stop them from doing that. So, yeah, I really appreciate that. And I also wanted to touch on leads, because you do not get quests or missions in this game. And that is another thing I think is brilliant.
Yeah, that's probably the most notable different mechanic that sets it apart from other games that are first person and post-apoc. Or first person post-apoc survival-y kind of games. The leads, you get notes, all these notes that you collect get filed away in your leads systems to like create these chains for investigations that you have for different things, and those form your objectives or quests. And you're largely like still discovering these things on your own. Like sometimes you'll get coordinates, and you have the like map coordinates to follow, or to check. If you look at your map, you can find those coordinates that are marked on like notes and stuff like that, to find treasure or other leads from like other NPCs that may be there, or like valuable tools that you can use, some particular different avenues to the interchange, which is the main big thing that you are trying to get full access to throughout the whole story. which that is cool too. It's the interchange is like a massive Dark Souls level design wraparound for the whole map. That's what I akin it to anyway.
I totally get that, especially like the first Dark Souls.
Yeah, it makes different
vibes.
It connects different routes to the other maps or the other zones of the game.
If you think of the interchange as like filing Shrine from the first Dark Souls, and it's like, oh, okay, I've got like 3 different paths I can head on through here and reach every different location and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it is basically that. And the interchange, is how you get to the last areas of the game too. So like, it's all just kind of right there, which is really nice. And also the different, I thought it was really hilarious, the voice you put on when you killed that old lady in
I need to make a TikTok clip of that, because that cracks me up every time.
But how did you feel about the more, I don't know, the more almost comical accents that people put on for some of the NPCs, like Captain Sims in particular?
Okay, here's the thing. Those are not comedy accents.
They sound like it though, Sarge.
These are like 1950s, 60s British accents.
Okay.
This is very much like people hear it on the TV. They're wanting to speak the Queen's English or the King's English at this time, I suppose. Maybe? God, I don't know my history that well. But yeah, a lot of these accents are not comedy ones, but so many Americans are going, oh boy, look at all these funny accents. And it's like, not really. Like, these are just different British accents than what you're used to hearing as well a lot of the time. I do think they try and play it up a bit, and they bring up stuff like Captain Sims as a southerner, and they kind of make fun of him, and he is a bit of a stereotype, but he's a stereotype of a person that existed, like, especially after the World Wars and stuff. This was like, oh yes, the retired army general sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's more like just... It's not even caricatures. It is like, yeah, there were these sort of people, but they eccentric characters. That's what they've done.
They've done the better term. I was looking for a different word than comical, because comical is a bit of a disservice, because they're still extremely well done. Like, I don't want to like take away from that too, because Captain Sims was entertaining to the max when I first like got introduced to him. Like, even though he's like a huge scumbag, like that, there's no getting around that, but like, man, it was very entertaining to listen to.
I like that he's not one-dimensional scumbagness. Like, it's quite easy to see him as a villain, but especially if you like read up a bit on him and have some proper chats with him and kind of have a heart-to-heart, you do realize that he's doing what he thinks needs to be done. Like, he's not just, "Mwahahaha, here I am, the evil captain, lording over these people." He's very much like, this is a bad situation, I'm a soldier, I've got my orders, I'm gonna do what I have to do here.
Well, yeah, once you learn more about it, it gets more ridiculous. But yeah, because you got his ending too, right?
Yeah, I got his ending.
Yeah. That's the only time you hear the title of the game stated too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a late game,
dude,
reference for the title.
That's such a long payoff for that.
Yeah.
And then you find out what it is, and you're just like, oh no.
Love it. Brilliant.
It's now I'm sad. So yeah, I very much they're called the protocol, the military folks that are there, kind of stuck in the quarantine zone with everybody else. Then you have the druids, which are the Casterfell Woods culty people, and then you have the outlaws, which are, well, they're raiders, outlaws, and bandits. Yeah, they're
the key distinction is they're not always going to attack you.
Yes.
Which I love. At some point I'll be making a video like, oh, here's 7 things Fallout can learn from Atomfall. And one of the big ones is, like, you know, the Fallout franchise has already started going in a direction where raiders have become a bit more nuanced, with stuff like Nuke World and 76 with the Creator Raiders. We're starting to see raiders who aren't just enemies to shoot at. And I think Atomfall is a great example of how to be like, yeah, these are, like, just bodies for you to attack, but they're also people and you could just avoid them, you know. They're not always going to just fight you. Sometimes they'll be like, oi, back off, this is our place we're looting. And I love that. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to detract from that. My bad.
No, that's fine. They are outlaws and bandits and raiders and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
They do still feel that vibe.
Then you have the oh no, you have the Fallout ferals. They're definitely Fallout. It must be Fallout because there's ferals, and they're blue, zombie-like people.
Yeah.
So that's like the third enemy type, and those ones you can't reason with. They will just come at you. And they have like a proximity trigger too, which is horrifying if you don't see them, but you can hear them if you have your sound on, because they breathe and heave and make all kinds of scary noises, which leaves the darker areas of the game like they are a big part of the atmosphere too, that I like a lot, as well as the infection itself, like the cloud, as well as the plant life that grows. More fungus. It's a year of the fungus for games, I think.
Yeah, I did point out to my sister how weird it was, but we played like Avowed and Atomfall, and if you just kind of do the describe this movie or describe this game badly plot line, then you can describe both of these games in the same way.
Yeah.
Like, there's some weird similarities going on between the two.
Yeah, coming down to, you know, hearing a voice.
Yeah,
kind of
hearing
things
a
too.
voice, weird plant life growths in an semi-open world that's locked off by regions, and like there's a lot of similarities for games that aren't actually that similar.
Yeah, you have guns.
You do have guns. You have melee weapons as well.
Yep.
Both games contain at least one sword and one mace.
Oh no.
Both games have grenades.
Oh geez. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff
Avowed.
there.
So what we're saying is Atomfall is closer to Avowed than Fallout.
Yes.
Which is to say, comparisons mean almost nothing with Atomfall.
I mean, while we are on the comparison side of things, I want to have a mild little complaint.
Oh.
Because I think that Atomfall and Avowed are both good games. And I think that they're both in like a similar tier of good games, where it's like, oh yeah, this is like your AA kind of standard. It's maybe not pushing tons of boundaries, but it does like a few new fun things and then just refines a bunch of other stuff and gives you this enjoyable experience, even if it's not hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay. However, online, people seem pretty happy with Atomfall, and I love that. People in general seem to be like, yeah, Atomfall, this is fun. Overall, it seems to be a positively viewed game. Everyone hates Avowed.
Not everyone.
It's not like... No, but my video talking about everyone hating Avowed is still my worst like to dislike ratio video ever. Like, so many people are angry at Avowed, and it's for reasons that are minor enough that you could make the same sort of comparative or similar level reasons with Atomfall, and yet I'm not seeing those with Atomfall. Like,
well, okay, so there's a few factors that I think matter, at least to these people that are complaining so aggressively.
Yeah.
It's that Obsidian has such a long legacy, whereas Rebellion, this is the first time they've tried something like this.
Yeah. They're like the Sniper Elite people, and publishers of 2000 AD comics, which was pointed out to me, which is especially fun because I'm linked to them. That's where the Bad Company from my name comes in.
Oh, wow. That's... Wow. History.
Yeah. Super weird, tangential deep cut. But carry on.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, is like
Yeah.
the expectations were so high and different, and also Avowed can be Avowed's comparison to Skyrim, you know, the never
Yeah.
dying Skyrim, may have had another negative, you know, part of that discourse, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas people do make the British Fallout comparison, but we also have Fallout London, which is British Fallout. Like,
Yeah.
you can't get more British Fallout than Fallout London unless Bethesda's like, oh, we have a new studio in Europe, we're gonna make a British Fallout like that.
Yep.
At that point, yes, then you have a proper British Fallout, but like, we have one, is what I'm saying. So like Atomfall kind of stands on its own because it has, I guess it has the room to do that without too much of that expectation. Whereas, you know, gamers gonna talk. If you see a thing that looks like a thing that you like and it doesn't have some features that are just nitpicky things, sometimes you get uppity about it. And I think that's kind of what happened to Avowed with some people, which is unfortunate.
I think you're entirely correct there.
Because it's a really good game. So, but I also learned, like, while I was doing my countdowns, especially like the games for Fallout fan stuff and whatnot, is to keep my expectations open to like new stuff and things that are like, if it's still like in that post-apoc or sci-fi genre, like, it still can surprise you in other ways while not having all of the things that the base comparison has. Which is, you know, sometimes refreshing. Like, if you detach yourself from that, it's actually really refreshing to just play something that's not your normal. That's largely what I learned when I did those countdowns, was like, oh, this is not something I would play normally, like outside of my comfort zone of games, but I really freaking enjoyed this because I gave it a shot. Like, Kenshi is like the perfect example of that. Like, I would not have played Kenshi or would have waited way too long to enjoy the post-apoc awesomeness that is Kenshi if I hadn't done those lists and had that feedback from other people being like, you really have to try Kenshi, dude. Please try Kenshi. I'm begging you. Like, and then I'm just like, oh, I get it. It's my vibe. Holy crap, why did I take so long?
I think as well there's a bit of a problem where people want games that are the same as they've played before because they already know how to play those games. I feel like there's been an uptick in people getting frustrated having to, like, learn a game. I feel like I've been seeing that a lot in the past few years or so, where it's like, why is this different? Why not just the same? Also make it different and better. But...
it's the we need innovation. Oh no, this is different. Like, it's that happens all the time, annoyingly. And it's just like, man, y'all remember when you complained about Death Stranding being a walking simulator? Hey, there was different things being done.
Yeah, they should have just made it the same as other games, Caedo. Come on, obviously.
I'm so glad Kojima just goes by the beat of his own drum, because he does some weird stuff and I love it every time.
You definitely need studios that are just...
We need weird people making games. Or just studios, you know, trying new things, because maybe they're starting to feel creatively bankrupt and they're just like, well, time to pivot and maybe give this a shot. And that feels like what Atomfall is.
Yeah, I'm very glad Rebellion did try something a bit different, because I feel like they have just been the Sniper Elite guys for ages now.
And Zombie Army, I think?
Right? Yeah, that sounds right. I'm gonna have to Google now to check. There we go. Oh, they made Alien vs. Predator for the Atari Jaguar.
Oh, nice.
And they made some Asterix games. Man. Okay, I'm having to scroll down quite a bit. Zombie Army, yeah. They made Zombie Army. Oh, they also made, like, the Evil Genius games. Ah, that's different as well. Okay, they've been doing different stuff. But yeah, they are mostly Sniper Elite. Like, there's so many Sniper Elite games hidden in here. Oh, and of course Rogue Warrior, which has the best ending credits ever. Oh, wait.
Is that the one with the foul mouth guy doing the rap?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Matt's published by Bethesda and developed by Rebellion. So that's our closest thing to a Fallout game by them, really.
Oh! It wins. Oh my god. Wins Rebellion making New Vegas 2? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
It'd be really hilarious if there was some weird, like, Bethesda getting somebody else to work on a Fallout IP game. Like, not Obsidian. People would go nuts. People would be so pissed and excited at the same time.
Hilarious. I mean, no matter what happens, if we do get a New Vegas 2, people are gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah.
But it'd be even funnier if they just did something weird with it like that.
Yeah, like make it a mobile game.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know how much else I want to share that's not spoilers.
Yeah, I think we've done a very good job not putting any spoiler stuff. Not really a spoiler, but I do want to say there's a castle. Yeah. Castle.
And you can go in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a secret passage.
Okay, that's kind of a spoiler, Caedo. You
can't
tell people there's secret passages in castles.
I mean, it's definitely not an obvious thing.
Nope. I mean, you say it's not an obvious thing. I did search around for a little while and there being like... The problem is I've got a terrible sense of direction, and there's kind of a circle you can walk around, and I kept thinking, wait, did I go right or left? And I just...
Signaling to the player. This is something I hadn't seen before, or had seen and totally forgot. They use streamers as a way of showing like exits in some of the like Casterfell Woods spots.
Okay.
Like those flags on string. Those are streamers, right? Is that what those are called?
Man, I have no idea what they're called.
But yeah, in some of the
bunting.
In some of the cave passages, like it's designed to be followed to the exit or to the entrance, and that's so great. That's how they did that. Just like some appreciation to like showing the player where to go without being like obnoxious about it.
Yeah, I think in general the level design is very well done.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's I did say I got lost in the castle for a while, but that is because I have terrible sense of direction and kept getting I was walking around in a like not even a very big circle like 3 times before I realized.
Yeah.
Like in general the game's very good at showing you where to go and making things clear, but also like hiding stuff sometimes. And it's really good at that. It was only Caedo asked me to double check like if a specific merchant had an item, and I found a secret tunnel, and I was like, how did I miss that before?
Yeah. What was the secret tunnel? Or is it a spoiler?
Secret tunnel is literally the name of it.
Oh.
Have you not found it?
Is it the one under the tavern?
Yes.
The Grendel's
one
head?
that goes under there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the first paths I took, actually. Because the first playthrough I did, I went from Slattendale to Casterfell to Windham Village. Like I didn't even think the Windham Village gate, the first one you see, was accessible. Because it had like the loudspeaker come on like as soon as you get near. And I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't go this way.
Got scared off.
I did.
I do love how the areas are all connected.
Yes.
Because we already mentioned like the interchange having the Dark Souls level design thing, but it's the same with Windham Village is connected to Casterfell Woods, Slatendale, and Skevermore.
Yes.
Like, and from any location, you can make it to any other location, basically.
Yeah, because there's other routes too. Like there's the
Yeah.
sewers that lead to several locations too.
There's the mines, which you can go through potentially. There's, like we've mentioned, tunnels and the interchange and through the village itself. And
Yep.
yeah, it's really, really good level design in that regard.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that is something it definitely has over Avowed. Because Avowed, you had to go from Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4. In this, they're just like, yeah, you start out in Slatendale, but you can go wherever you want right away.
Yeah. That's it, I think.
That's it. I think we've basically solved the game at this point. Like,
we've exhausted this topic, and also, why aren't you playing Atomfall right now?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I will say to the commenter who said 17 hours playtime, but you can beat it in 6, a waste of money. Slow down, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't clock in speedrun timers as your gauge, maybe. Yeah. Unless you're a speedrunner, I guess. And then in that case, you're going to be speedrunning and losing a whole bunch anyway and pouring hours into the game, so stop complaining.
Yeah.
Anyway, beyond that commenter, yeah, Atomfall is a good time if you do like, you know, the vibes you get from Metro or Stalker, and maybe some of the design things we were talking about from maybe other standardized things or other games. Yeah, give it a shot. It's cool, and I want to see a sequel. If this is the baseline or the groundwork, I want a second one, or maybe we'll see something crazy happen with the expansion. I don't know.
Possibly. I have also heard Rebellion talking about possibly doing other, like, single-player open-world games. So, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we've talked about Atomfall, that's the thing we've both been doing. What else have you been doing and making and playing, Sarge?
I've been making, playing, and doing 76.
76, huh?
I've played a bunch of Fallout 76. I've made a couple of builds. I made my unkillable ghoul build, which is like a tanky character. And I also made my ghoul cowboy, which is a video I'm really proud of, and is doing badly in terms of views, unfortunately. Like, it's so annoying, because the ghoul unkillable one is like my best viewed video in a while, especially fastest viewed video in a while. But then the cowboy one is just the ghoul slinger. Maybe that's why it's got no views. I made a pun out of the title. You know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that right now. See if it changes it. Let's just delete that.
Cool cowboy
yeah, my
build.
ghoul cowboy build has not done great. And even though I replicated the opening from my original Fallout 76 cowboy build, and I was so proud of that. It's got like a nice cool cinematic opening, it's got great theme and stuff. It's also a fairly strong build, like not min-maxed like so many people want.
It's good though.
But yeah, I'm still one-shotting most enemies with ease.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not struggling. I even came across a Wendigo Colossus just on my own and fought that for ages, and it took a while to take it down. Especially because the only people who showed up to help were like a couple of reasonably low-level players in a nuke zone. They kept like going down, and I had to help them and stuff. But we killed a Wendigo Colossus, and I was never in danger of dying. And it was like, yeah, this is solid then. But yeah,
nice.
I've made a few builds. I made a camp build as well, which has not gone down great.
The perfect ghoul camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Building the perfect ghoul camp.
Yes.
I put it in quotes this time around. But yeah, that was also me redoing basically an old camp build video I did. Like, I'm basically just rehashing a lot of old content but with the new ghoul update stuff. And then I'll probably stop playing 76 again, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's
are
just the way it goes.
you still doing the another build? The other one you told me about?
Yeah, I want to do a melee build as well, for certain.
Okay.
But whether or not I do any more builds beyond that really depends on if there's enough attention for them. Because builds are a fair bit of work. And I do put a lot of production into it. I've been cutting out burp cards, been doing special editing, all this fancy stuff. And then when, like, not many people click on it, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe there's not an audience. I should do something else.
Yeah. Which is totally fair.
Yeah.
But I am watching more of your content than I usually do, actually.
That's nice.
So you're at least getting views from me.
Yeah.
Everybody in the comments, please watch Sarge's videos.
Please do. I will appreciate it.
That's at Bad Company Sarge and Bad Company Gaming.
Yeah. Got the second channel as well, where I've been doing my Kill Everything Atomfall run.
Yeah.
And I'm about to finish off Dark Souls Randomized, and then after that, I've got another Fallout 4 challenge run coming up. So, that'll be pretty good. I'm also now, hopefully by the time this comes out, 2/3 of the way to getting monetized on that channel. I need 1,000 subscribers. I've got like 665 at the moment, I believe. So I'm slowly getting there. Hopefully at some point this year that channel will get monetized and I'll make like $5 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. Other stuff I have been doing though is I played some more Elden Ring. Yesterday actually. I had like an hour or so just like spare after I'd got done with work and stuff. And some viewers and listeners of the PIPCAST may remember me talking about Melania. That was like the boss fight that I kind of stopped, and then Avowed came out, and then Atomfall. So, you know, I've not played Elden Ring in a couple of months, but I went back, I was like, you know what, I'll give Melania another try. And I went into the arena, and then I discovered, after 100 hours of playtime, that there's a button which makes me do like a funny little sword dance thing. So I just did that in her arena for ages and she killed me. But it's fine, because I then fought her properly and killed her right away.
Nice. Good job.
This is like the hardest base game Elden Ring boss.
Sometimes you need just time away.
Yeah. And it's definitely a case of I just needed that time away. Because then after beating her, I was like, cool, I guess I'll just keep playing for a bit. And I then defeated every single remaining boss in the game without dying.
Nice.
This was like 6 or 7 bosses that I just powered through first try every single time. Just boom, 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 boom. And I did all this in like half an hour after spending over 100 hours in the game. It was basically just a boss rush. I killed almost no basic enemies in that time. Because the end of the game as well is kind of a boss rush. Every boss has like 2 phases as well where they transform or become a different boss or something. And so many boss fights in such a short time. And I just did all of them right away. And I felt very good about that. I got the Age of Stars ending. Or Age of the Stars ending, for anyone wondering. And yeah, I beat Elden Ring. I did it.
Woo! Congrats, Sarge.
Yeah. I also, between every boss, I did actually do a bit of level grinding. Because every time I killed a boss, I got not quite enough runes to level up normally. Except for, I think, in Melania's case, where she gave me like a level and a half. So then I had to do more of that. And every time I was like, well, obviously the next boss is going to kill me, and I don't want to lose these runes. So I spent so much time like grinding for runes when I really didn't need to, because it did not make much of a difference to how much damage I was dealing out. But it did mean I finished the game with 69 dexterity.
Nice.
Yep, that's the real achievement.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, and the last thing I should mention, because we talked briefly about anime earlier and Caedo told me to add this, is I started watching Rise of the Shield Hero, which is a little kind of, I think it's isekai anime, they call it, where basically a character is transported to a fantasy world, that kind of vibe. And it felt very tropey at first. And then I was like, oh, okay, they're doing a slight subversion with this character, there's an obvious betrayal coming up. And then it just went real dark real fast.
Oh.
Like, it went from, oh, this is just like a shonen teen anime sort of thing, where they're having some fun, this will be a nice casual watch. And then suddenly they just like, oh no, this is actually, like, taking some darker stuff, and they say a word that I'm not gonna say here. Because they do suddenly become like, oh, okay, this is kind of dark, even though it's a cutesy-looking anime world for the most part. And I really liked that, and it just hooked me, because I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, I've enjoyed the 2 episodes I've seen so far,
Well,
and I'm looking forward to watching more of it.
why don't you watch the Devil May Cry anime?
I'll watch that afterwards.
You can watch it right now.
I can't watch it right now. We're recording a podcast,
I
Caedo.
could stream it to you. We
No,
could watch
I
it
can
together.
just watch it. I also have other stuff to do today. Like mostly playing more 76. I want to get some scoreboard stuff. But, yeah,
Dude, we should play together.
we could do that afterwards.
Get some
What
more
have you been doing, Caedo?
B-roll. Hey, speaking of 76, that's me in the nutshell.
Yeah.
I've been going crazy on the scoreboard. I'm already at, I think, score level 86, something like that. Been playing with the Union quite a bit. I don't know if he messaged you already.
He did.
Yeah. Do you want those Ranger mods? Because they're really good.
They sound like they'd be good.
Yeah. Just got to get to a spot where you're both online at the same time, or
Yeah.
maybe I could be the middleman.
That might end up needing to be the case, because he messaged and it was like, it'd be like 6 a.m. your time, and I was obviously asleep then.
Yeah.
And I wasn't online till like 3 hours later.
Yeah. Well, it's probably closer to like 1 a.m. or midnight here. Because he usually... Yeah, we start playing at like 9 p.m. and then he heads off around midnight.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been playing the crap out of this game. Because I've been needing to get the auto axe because I didn't get it when the pit came out. So it's on, it's at the like stamp vendor for like 500 stamps. So you need to do the expeditions a bazillion times to get that many stamps. So that's what I've been wanting to get. But we also ended up, the civil engineer armor requires like stamps to get the mods unlocked too that you want.
Oh, okay.
So I finally got the jetpack mod for it. So now I'm all set up with the armor stuff that I wanted for this era of Fallout 76, I suppose.
Yeah.
My civil service or secret service stuff is old hat now. It's all been broken down into components. And I'm now civil engineer all the way. Enemies
I'm gonna have to switch to that at some point as well.
occasionally set themselves on fire when they hit me now, which is
Nice.
awesome. And my weapons break slower just because I'm wearing the armor. It's great.
That's the set I want to transfer over to, but
Yeah.
I'm still on the Secret Service.
Yeah, it's good. I'm more than willing to help too because I've been freaking playing so much. The Union also converted me to wanting to try a auto axe / chainsaw type of build because the damage you can put out is astronomical. If you're playing feral with the new ghoul system. So I ended up getting we were doing like one of the Nuke World on Tour events or something like that, and I got a decent roll for with a chainsaw. So I was like, all right, I'll play around with this a little bit. Turns out the train station nearby, the vendor had like a couple chainsaw mods that would automatically just make it better. Like it had the extended blade kind of thing that gave it like bleed and then the fire that goes along with it and stuff like that. So now it's a flaming, bleed causing chainsaw that has, I think it's got like furious, and then I put inertial, I think is what it's called. It's the one that gives you AP on kill.
Oh, okay.
Like I started off with the power attack 40% extra damage one. That's what it started with. But then I switched it to the inertial one, and I was like, I don't have to stop moving. I can just hold down the attack button and just go. So that's more my vibe, I think. And I was just playing around with that in Atlantic City on the boardwalk and just carving through everything. Like the overgrown could not heal themselves fast enough. Like, it's nuts. And on top of that, because I am a feral build, I also have gotten to the point to where my punches to the face of the twins that you race against in the boardwalk I think I was doing 3,000 damage with a single power attack to their face, which feels pretty good too. So, you know, I vary it up once in a while, but yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how much damage I'm putting out as a feral ghoul at this point.
Yeah.
And also the ridiculous amount of perks that got changed and made better.
Yeah.
Like even Refractor is actually useful now because it scales instead of gives you a flat number of energy resistance that I just found out.
Yeah, they've done such a good job at, like, I'm going to say fixing the perks.
Yeah.
Because it feels like every perk which was just objectively bad now has at least some level of use to it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I've been doing as my cooldown kind of thing as I've been like recording Atomfall stuff. I've been messaging Sarge back and forth about trying to figure out like what the respawn timer is for vendors. Still don't freaking know. Still trying to figure it out. Because some of them sell skill manuals and I'm trying to do a guide on them with reliable information. And I don't have that reliable information yet because I'm still trying to figure something out.
Yep.
So that's the next planned excuse me, guide for Atomfall. And after that, I still have about half commentary done on the treasure maps guide for Avowed. Like I might go back to Avowed once I've kind of tapped out on Atomfall.
Yeah.
And then by that time, I guess I can just keep trucking until one of them has an expansion.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Because
I mean, I feel like there's plenty of guides you can slowly work on in both of those games.
yeah.
Like, if you do a training stimulants guide, I imagine Matt would take months to make.
Jesus. Man, I don't know if I want to do that though.
Like, there's always something else you can make guide-wise with these two, I feel
I don't want to
so...
get burnt out on Atomfall, so I think I'm going to
Yeah.
forego the training stimulants one.
Oh, man.
I know. I
I
know
still
everybody
kind of
wants to know if you can max out every single skill in Atomfall. I don't know why you'd want to, but I guess some people want to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some things. Atomfall is short and bite-sized enough where I just kind of want to make sure that my experience with making guides for it is similar.
That's fair. I must admit, I'm probably going to make like one more Atomfall video, and then besides the kill everything run, that'll be it probably for me.
Yeah, because it's not a game you're supposed to like Skyrim out, basically.
No.
You're not. You might go back to it occasionally because it is a fun little, experience, and it's got several different endings and stuff like that. But even the endings are like allow you to like just reload and then do one of the other ones. So, yeah. But Avowed has a lot there still for me to, chew on and make into something. So, and I'm not tired of that. Well, I needed a break from Avowed, but I'm not tired of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not exhausted by it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plan.
Sounds solid.
Or so. And let's see. I played the little update, the update on Deep Rock Galactic Survivor too. They have little additions here and there. The game is prettier to look at now. The like weapon icons have like gradients of gold on them, and there's like been like ridiculous shaders added to the like maps themselves. So when you're wandering around, there's like kind of light reflecting and stuff like that. It's subtle, but it's there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also they added a bunch of overclocks for the weapons that are increasingly ridiculous. So, that's fun too. Vampire Survivors, like the more ridiculous the better is what I say. So if Bullet Heavens are a thing you like, hey, there's another one that's got a digging mechanic, because that's what Deep Rock's kind of about. And fighting bugs, digging and shooting and fighting bugs. So I don't know if you like that, try that out. It's fun. And I think that's it. I think it's really all been oh, I turned 38 years old. That happened.
Oh god. Old man Caedo.
And that's it. That's really it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and listening, and hope to catch your comments. Sorry I was so preachy in this episode. But we hope to hear from you in the comments below and catch you in 2 weeks, every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the PIPCAST 3000. Thank you, and goodbye.